Welcome to the On Brand podcast, the show where we dive into branding, marketing, and living life on brand. I'm your host, Jessica Carr, a marketing strategist with over a decade of experience helping businesses of all sizes amplify their impact and connect with their audience. Together, we'll explore actionable strategies, inspiring stories, and the latest trends to elevate your business and personal brand. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a creative, or someone ready to make bold moves, you're in the right place. Let's do this. Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm Jessica Carr, a branding and marketing strategist and consultant for women who are looking to amplify their impact and live on brand. This episode is kicking off a little series I'm calling The 5 Rules of Building a Magnetic Brand. Now listen, I used to joke that the first rule of business and entrepreneurship was something different every time I said it. Sometimes it was fail fast. Sometimes it was adapt or die. And one day I realized maybe I should write these things down. These rules have been real grounded truths I've learned from years of working with startups, building my own business, burning out, pivoting, and helping other women do the same. Now, these are the rules I've come back to when things feel a little messy, unclear, or too shiny or fake. Whether you're building from scratch or rebuilding from burnout, I hope the series helps you come home to what actually matters. So let's start with rule number 1, and that is building a brand is solving a problem. If what you're building doesn't solve a real problem, it's not a business. It's a hobby, a concept, or the Pinterest board. Now, that might be fun, but it won't pay your bills or change someone's life. So building a business or brand starts with pain, all right? It doesn't start with aesthetics or vibes or throwing a crystal in a mason jar and calling it a business. And yes, I've actually seen that. I've seen quote unquote manifestation kits made out of pen and essential oils. It's cute, but it's not changing someone's life. What problem are you solving? So every offer, every business exists because someone is struggling. They're in a moment of, I can't keep doing it this way. They're frustrated, they're confused, they're tired, they're lonely, and they need relief. And that's where you come in. You are the relief there. You're not here to be impressive. You're here to be helpful. And that's what really a successful business is all about. One of my old business professors had this incredible way of measuring these problems. He'd ask, is this a paper cut or is this a shark bite? Well, a paper cut is annoying. You can live with it. A shark bite, on the other hand, is disruptive. It bleeds, it hurts, and it changes your behavior immediately. You're trying to attend to the hemorrhaging of the shark bite. You need a solution now. So if your offer is solving a paper cut, not exciting, right? You're not really going to get anywhere with that. But a shark bite, that's disruptive. So if your offer is solving a paper cut, you're not going to get that far. Now, if you're solving a shark bite, that's where real business lives. Now, you don't need to be dramatic, but you do need to be relevant. Your clients need you to say, I see what's hurting and I've built something to help. This doesn't mean you have to be a therapist or save the world by any means. It means you need to stop building offers that are cute, but confusing or not meaningful. The world doesn't need more ungrounded ideas that are actually solving a problem. Now, you can have purpose and clarity. You can have magic and a message. And you can have soul and systems, but you have to start with the pain. Now, if you're listening right now and feel a little called out, good. Let's bring in the clarity here. So, I want you to ask yourself a couple questions. First thing I want you to ask yourself is, what is the specific moment of frustration my client is in when they're hiring me? What's the breaking point? Where are they at when they say, I need this product or service? What are they Googling or talking to ChatGPT about at 2 a.m.? The last question I want you to ask yourself is, what's the sentence that makes them whisper, ooh, that's me. I feel called out. You're talking to me right now. Now, that's where your business actually begins. It's not on Canva. It's not on Instagram. It's right there in that pain and frustration. Now, I'm going to walk you through an exercise I take all of my new clients through. It's the business validation exercise. While I'm a branding and marketing strategist, it's important to me to make sure that we are branding and marketing the right solution to your target audience. So there's a bit of business strategy at the beginning of the entire process when you work with me through that process. So I'm actually going to link the worksheet to this exercise in my show notes. So you can fill this out now or when it's more convenient for you, but be sure to download it now so you have it later. Now, the first thing I want to do is talk about your area of genius. Your business will never succeed if you are actually passionate about it. You can find a problem and you can have a solution for it, but if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to put the time and energy into it. And entrepreneurship and starting a business isn't exactly easy. You have to really want it in order for it to succeed. Otherwise, you're just not going to be motivated. So let's figure out what your passion is here first. And so many people look for what their quote unquote purpose is, but spoiler alert, your passion is your purpose. I'm going to ask you a series of questions and you can go through it in the workbook. I have it linked in the show notes. You can download it and fill out the workbook with these questions. So the first question is, what are the top 3 things you could talk about all day? Now, out of those 3, what is the topic you have been talking about for years? Next question. Out of those 3, what would you do all day if you never had to worry about money again? Next question. Out of those 3, what is the topic you often give the most advice about? What topic lights you up and you can't help but feel like your soul is on fire when you talk about it? There should be one passion that sticks out in particular. This is your area of genius. And the question is, who would love that? For me, it's marketing and branding. And who would love that? There's a couple. So we're going to actually go through that in the next section. The next section is people. So we're going to explore who your potential customer is here. So remember, rule number 1 here. Building a brand is solving a problem. So let's brainstorm the people that you're helping, and then we're going to dive into the problems. But first, you have to know who you're helping. If you go through the workbook, it explains it so much better. So make sure you download that. But I'm going to try my best to explain it as I'm walking you through it. The first thing you're going to do in this section is come up with 4 different groups of people that you interact with on a regular basis. So these are your peer groups. For example, you could have outdoor enthusiasts, beauty mavens, fitness junkies, and book lovers. Now narrow those groups down a little bit. So instead of outdoor enthusiast, narrow it down to backpackers, climbers, or trail runners. Pick a more defined group from each of the peer groups that you listed. Now, this is where it gets a little confusing. The next thing you're going to do is come up with another 4 groups of people. And this is your passion group. So we just had the peer groups, and there should be 4 groups. And now you have your passion groups. These are the groups of people that you aren't involved with, but you genuinely want to help or have a passion to serve. For example, moms of sick kids, women in minority groups, college kids or new moms. Once again, you're going to narrow those 4 groups down even further. From your peer groups and your passion groups that you've identified, so you should have 8 groups of people. Choose the top 4 groups you would be most interested in working with. It doesn't matter if they're a mix of each or all come from one. The important thing is that you understand their situation personally and you can relate to them. So this new group of 4 is your engaged group. And this is the group we're going to work with from now on. So what you're going to do from here with your engaged group is research them. Write 3 to 4 sentences describing them, their age, where they live, how they feel, etc. Now, part 3 of this is the problems. So for each of the 4 engaged groups, write down 4 meaningful problems that they have. So for each group. So let's say trail runners was one of the groups that I picked as my engaged group. I'm going to write down 4 problems that trail runners might have. So think of the problems that you're already trying to solve. The problems you write down should be a real problem they are experiencing, a way to make their life more enjoyable, or a common problem that everyone in that engaged group will have. For each problem, rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. How severe is that problem? 1 being that paper cut, 10 being the shark bite. Now, next what you're going to do is you're going to pick the 4 most meaningful problems that you are excited about. Think back to your passions. Write out each problem in detail. Define that problem and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 on how passionate you are about finding a solution to it. Now, you're going to pick 2 of the problems that you're most passionate about, and these are your plan A and plan B. So we're going to stop right there on this worksheet because the last section, part 4, actually goes with next week's episode, and it's validating the business idea or the problem that you're solving. I'm going to go through that step next week on the podcast. So I'm going to stop there. This is their first rule because it's the one people skip the most. They fall in love with an idea instead of the solution. But your business isn't about proving your worth. It's about solving something that matters. Next week, I'm going to be talking about rule number 2. The bigger the pain, the bigger the business. And why I want you to stop playing small with your ideas. Until then, if you want help clarifying your offer and the real pain it solves, I have a 90-minute session with your name all over it, and I'm going to link it in the show notes. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the On Brand podcast. If you found today's episode valuable, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who'd love it too. Until next time, keep amplifying your impact and living on brand.